If you listen to the news, every successful tech company sounds like it launched perfectly a sleek product, millions in funding, and instant user adoption. But that's an illusion. The truth is that the biggest, most valuable tech companies in the world nearly died or launched something so wrong, so embarrassing, that they were forced to totally abandon their original idea. Today, we're going to look at the 5 biggest tech fails that became billion-dollar successes. We're going to analyze the moment of failure, the humiliating public pivot, and the crucial lesson they learned when their first idea crashed and burned. This isn't a list of minor bumps. These are fundamental, existential failures that were necessary for their incredible rise. Let's start with fail number 1. YouTube. Before it was the world's largest video platform, YouTube started as a video dating service. Seriously. The idea was called TuneIn. Hook Up. The founders even offered people money to upload profile videos. But it was a complete, agonizing flop. No one was using it. They realized that technology, the ability to easily upload and share video, was revolutionary, but their idea was terrible. The pivot was simple but brutal. Open the platform to any video. They stripped away the niche dating focus and embraced general utility. The failure wasn't the tech, it was the narrow thinking. Their rise began the moment they embraced utility over novelty. Now, fail number 2. Slack. Today, it's an indispensable communication tool for millions, but it wasn't built to be that. Slack was born out of the ashes of a massive failure. The co-founders were trying to build a multiplayer online game called Glitch. The game was a total commercial flop, but as they were building it, they had to create an internal communication system for their own remote team. That internal tool was incredibly effective. When the game failed, they looked at what they had left and realized the internal communication system was the real product. Their multi-million-dollar business was a byproduct of a failed dream. De leçon? The true value often lies in the tools you build to cope with your primary failure. Our third case is arguably the most famous. Fail number 3. Netflix. We know them as the streaming giant, but their first model was a subscription DVD email service. The massive failure happened when they decided to split the company into 2 services. Streaming, called Netflix, and DVD mail, which they renamed Quick. It was a disastrous attempt to force a transition. Their customers hated it. They lost 800,000 subscribers and saw their stock price plummet by 77% in 1 quarter. CEO Reed Hastings had to issue a massive public apology. This near-death experience forced them to commit completely to streaming, using the massive backlash as an irreversible commitment device. The failure wasn't just a mistake. It was the market forcing them into the successful model they were too afraid to adopt fully. Next, fail number 4. PayPal. You use it to transfer money. But their original company, Confinity, was focused on creating cryptography software and digital wallets for Palm Pilots. Remember Palm Pilots? The company was constantly running out of cash. Their product was clunky, and they were bleeding money. The survival pivot came when they focused their technology on one tiny, functional feature, allowing users to email money. That single, simple function was what truly took off and saved the entire company. The lesson here is brutal. Often, 99% of your product is garbage. Find the 1% that works and kill the rest. Our final case study is perhaps the most humbling. Fail number 5. Airbnb. When they launched, the idea was just air, bed and breakfast. The founders were trying to pay their San Francisco rent by renting air mattresses on their floor during a major design conference. When that conference ended, they tried to pivot, selling presidential-themed cereal boxes Obama O's and Cap'n McCain stew, raise cash. They literally sold $30,000 worth of breakfast cereal to keep their company alive. They were rejected by multiple major investors who thought the idea of people staying in strangers' homes was insane. Their rise was built on desperation and grinding until the travel market finally accepted their crazy idea. Their failure was their inability to raise capital, forcing them to be resourcefully scrappy in a way that eventually defined their culture. The common denominator is clear. No one started perfectly. The only difference between these successful companies and the thousands that failed is that these founders listened to the failure. Failure is just the market screaming, "That idea is wrong," but you have the right components. Your rise story won't be about avoiding failure. It will be about identifying the functional core buried within your first catastrophic attempt and having the humility and courage to pivot completely. If these stories shifted the way you look at failure, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which failure stories shocked you the most. Thanks for watching.